All right, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Another great fight coming up. We got Jermell Charlo against John Jackson, all right? Really good fight at 154. This fight will be for the WBC junior middleweight title, okay? All right, the vacant WBC title, one of the titles that Floyd held. Laura Martirosyan is going to have a rematch fighting for the other title, the WBA title, the other title that Floyd held, okay? And on that same night, we have Jermell Charlo fighting Jermall Charlo fighting Austin Trout for that IBF title, right? So we have 3 title fights on one night, all right? Great card, all right? All good fights, all right? Now, if you're not familiar with John Jackson, okay, look him up. The son of Julian Jackson, okay? The brother of Julius Jackson, the chef, okay? Good fighter, very explosive, lots of power, okay? He had, got a couple of losses. He lost to Willie Nelson, who is another top guy at 154. Recently beaten Tony Harrison. All right. John Jackson's very explosive, a lot of power, pretty good boxer as well. He's a little wild, but he's very explosive. Extremely dangerous fight for Jermell Charlo. Okay. I would probably still say that Martirosyan probably was the best fight for him. And that fight could have easily been a draw, okay? But this fight here is almost just as dangerous as that fight. All right, Jackson has a lot of power. Okay, he has good hand speed. He's a good boxer. I've even seen him switch it up from orthodox to southpaw. He's an orthodox fighter, but he can fight southpaw. Like I've seen him switch it up in a fight. So he's pretty well rounded. Now he hasn't fought anyone. Well, he hasn't beaten anyone extremely good. That's the one thing you can probably, if there's anything to complain about Jackson, is that, his biggest fights were against Willie Nelson and against Andy Lee. If you haven't seen that fight, please check that fight. That fight was a war. All right. John Jackson was definitely winning. He hurt Lee early. He knocked him down. And he was just throwing bombs throughout the whole fight. He was winning the fight, and Andy Lee did exactly what Andy Lee do. He always gets hurt early, finds a way to come back, corner him with a right hook that John Jackson did not see coming, and Jackson went to sleep, all right? Doesn't take nothing away from him. This is going to be a dangerous fight for Jermell Charlo. Jermell, not the bigger puncher between the two twins, okay? Boy, he's a little bit more elusive. He does a lot more foot movement in the ring, all right? A little bit more defensive than his brother. He doesn't throw with bad intentions, He does a lot more movement. It's a lot more defensive. He's more the boxer. A lot of people say he's more the boxer. I wouldn't say he's more the boxer, but he fights a lot more technical than his brother. He doesn't have the power he has, so he moves a lot more. Okay, he like to pick his spots a lot better, and this is exactly what he needs to do to win the fight. Okay, he will need to continue to move. He cannot allow himself to be on the ropes against John Jackson. All right, John Jackson is gonna go to work. He needs to fight a similar fight like he did against Gabe Rosado. Just keep circling the ring, circling around, just not staying in place, which he usually does in every fight, all right? What I would like to see from Jermell, too, I would like to see him go to the body a little bit more, all right? He doesn't go to the body too much. Shoot some jabs down at the body, slow Jackson down a little bit, all right? Because Jackson is going to be coming to throw bombs, all right? Keeping Jackson on the end of his jab. I mean, he is the more skilled boxer between the two, okay? Jackson does have he's more powerful, more aggressive. So, Jermell Charlo is going to have to use his tools, his tactics as an advantage. Circle him, just stay off the ropes, keep him on the end of his jab, and he should win this fight. I think he will win this fight, but he has to be very careful because John Jackson throws bombs, okay? He throws bombs. He wants to go to war. And John Jackson, his best chance of winning this fight is keeping the pressure, throwing bombs. Okay, you can't sleep on Jermell neither, right? Because I don't know how durable. I mean, he got caught with a shot by Andy Lee. Not saying he doesn't have a chin or anything, but Jermell, even though he's not the biggest puncher, right? He did fight Alcine in his last fight. Did stop him. Okay, I know Alcine is much older now, but still, he still got a stoppage in that fight. He did hurt Alcine several times in that fight, so you can't just completely leave yourself open. Um, but Jermell, he has to circle. He has to keep moving and keeping, the distance between him and John Jackson. John Jackson is going to have to keep the pressure going, land those big shots. I think John Jackson's best chance of winning this fight is by trying to get a knockout, to try to drop Charlo. Charlo's been down, flash knockdown though. But Jackson has to keep the pressure, land a big shot, in my opinion. He could box well, and he could win the fight by decision as well. But I think Jermell is the superior boxer between the two. All right, big fight for the WBC title, and I have Jermell Charlo winning this fight by decision. Okay, so anyway, that's my pick. Let me know what you guys think, and make sure you hit subscribe before you leave. All right, peace.